Sales and marketing versus brand building. All right, and I want to talk to you about this really quick. Sales is like candy. I think it's the greatest. And I did come up with this myself. I'm really proud of myself. Right? It's kind of like that. You eat that piece of candy and it's delicious, and you just want more. Like, God, I want another piece of candy. I can't get enough. But then a lot of times you run out of candy, right? And then you kind of get sick, or maybe you eat too much candy, or you eat too much pizza, and you end up throwing up in the balls of Chuck E. Cheese, right? So sales for us and for all of us is it's instant gratification, right? It's that quick rush. The other thing from an analytic mindset is you can measure it very easily, right? That's a huge piece of this. You can look at AdWords, you can look at Google Ads, you can do those types of things from a paid search standpoint. You can know how many you converted. It's very easy to justify, right? Short-term wins, right? You feel really good. Again, I think I got the point there, all right? So these kind of things, do I point this at?
I think point it over there. It wasn't working.
There we go. So as we just talked about, and I'm not going to talk about these things today. I mean, I'm more than happy to have as many phone calls as you would like, or we can discuss this, but, paid search, paid social, like all of your advertising, right? Things that are going to cost you money, email campaigns, direct response, doing commercials, right? Those types of things, sales, they're important, right? But for where you are today, I want you to focus on something a little bit differently, and I think it's going to make a huge and a much bigger impact on where you guys want to go. And I want to talk about brand, right? And everybody doesn't, or a lot of people don't like brand because, again, it's like you can't really see if you're doing anything right. Am I really converting anything? Are people really seeing this? Is it resonating, right? But again, it's like eating that healthy diet. It's eating broccoli, right? You don't really like to do it, but as you keep eating it and you're eating healthier, right, you start to get a healthier company. And this is what will take you through those sales cycles that go like this, right, through the long term, right? For us, about 60 to 70% of everything I do is brand. And I'll probably take that back. About 80 to 90% is brand. And when I find something that works, that's when I put my revenue. That's when I put money behind it. We'll talk about that. But I'm not going out there first advertising or throwing a bunch of stuff out there from a paid search, SEO, that stage. And I'm going to talk to you about how are we doing this, or how you can do it as well. So this is the stuff I want to talk to you about today. And I think it's fun. I think there's an art and a science to it. And I think it's one of these or two of these things that you can get behind can totally take you to a different level, right? So it's content marketing, it's podcasts, it's adding value to whoever, and we're going to talk about different segmentations with that. Blogging, follower campaign, trying to generate community, those types of things. And I just put adding value twice because we're not selling, right? So we're not selling, we're going to add value, and we're going to see how this affects the community. So we talked about sales, and in my experiences and how I take, again, my two startups now and what I did with Expedia is pre-startup, and where you guys mostly, I'm assuming, are now is 100% brand building, right? When you walk out of here, I am so excited to see the first person that maybe takes their phone out and does something that we talk about, because you can start it the instant you walk out of here, and you can start making a difference literally today. And that's why I think that this is fun to kind of talk about, right? It's not like you got to go put a full plan together and you got to kind of take your time and think it through. There's a piece of that too, right? But you can really start doing that. Now, as you start to evolve, right, this brand turns into sales, right? And then once you get to a point, and this is where Expedia is now, we're about 50-50. I decided to do a ton of stuff from a personal branding standpoint. If something resonates, then I put money behind it, and that's kind of how I'm generating sales, all right?